Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Modernize Your Gift Processing with the Acknowledgement Automation Kit. This is something we consider a gateway to helping you learn more about using automation processes with Razor's Edge NXT and church management and the Microsoft Power Platform. This webinar is presented by an internal group of Blackbaud. We're calling ourselves the Modern Merge Innovation Team. Each person who is speaking will introduce themselves as they come along. This is a group within the company that is basically dedicated to helping you learn and use the Microsoft Power Platform and other extensions that help you get more out of your use of Razor's Edge NXT and church management. Before we get started and I introduce you to our first speaker, there are a couple housekeeping tips. First of all, most important for most people, is there a webinar recording and will you get it? And the answer is indeed yes. We will email it within about 24 hours. So you can, if you want to be taking notes, you can, but know that you don't have to write down everything that happens because you'll get the recording. The audio is broadcast through your computer speakers. So anytime it might lag or pause, usually refreshing the browser will help you get things kick-started again. And for questions, use the Q&A widget to send questions and comments to the team. There's a very large audience for today's webinar, so we also have a large team on Q&A. We'll try to keep up with all the questions that come in. If we don't get to your question, what we're going to try and do is move the responses to the community afterwards so that you can see more comprehensive responses. So with that, I am going to turn you over to Heather McLean, who is your MC for today, and will be kicking off this presentation.
Hi, everybody. I'm just looking at the attendee list, and I see some familiar names out there. So hello to all of you, and happy holidays. Before we get started, and just to help us know how fast or slow to go through this webinar today, fill in this poll question. Let us know how familiar you are with Microsoft Power Automate. And it's okay if you don't know what it is. We're definitely gonna get into this topic today and make you all inspired, hopefully, about what's possible with this amazing tool. So I'll give you a few more moments to fill in the poll question. And while you are, just for those of you I don't know, my name's Heather McLean, and I'm a Senior Principal Solution Architect with Blackbaud, and a self-confessed data hygiene geek and a longtime power user of Razor's Edge. And about 2 years ago, I started getting excited about automation and what it can do to help organizations be able to be more productive and effective in delivering on their mission. So today, share a culmination of some of that work that is the Acknowledgement Automation Kit, and try to answer all of your questions, as Catherine said, as they come in. So let's see the results. All right. Push to audience. I don't know what it is. Okay, that's where we suspected we would be. So I think that we have the right level of presentation today. Hopefully you feel the same way. We're all very accessible as you meet my other co-presenters within Blackbaud community. And so if you have any follow-up questions or we don't get to a particular topic, please, we'll be giving you a lot of great links that are in the resources and throughout the presentation today to stay connected with us as you explore the world of automation. So let's get started. I, as I said, am a self-confessed data nerd. So we were laughing this morning that everything in my blogs and social media list this morning is all about 2022 tech trends, and robotic process automation is on the top of the list alongside things like metaverse and other things like that. So we're here to talk about making friends with the robots. through process automation. And really, robotic process automation, or RPA, is a use of software that automates manual tasks. So we really are here to talk about how you can sort of spend more time on the things that are really important for your organization and really strategic for your organization, and teaching the robot to do some of the rote tasks and the more manual tasks and the repetitive tasks for you. There's a lot of benefits of RPA. By teaching the robot to do it consistently every single time, you get rid of some of the human error. And as I said, it makes it so that you can focus on potentially higher value work, which really does increase job satisfaction. I know that I'm using Microsoft Power Platform and some of the developer tools inside Windows 11 to really transform and automate a lot of what I do day to day, and it has increased my job satisfaction, especially as we are remote working from home. It makes things faster, potentially, and more predictable. And it gives you a documented audit trail of your work performed. So you'll see as we dive into the automation kits a little bit later that it may even be going beyond what was available in Razor's Edge database view today through some of the mail merge functions. And the templates and the kits that we're providing are just the tip of the iceberg as a gateway to help you automate your unique business processes for your organization. And also because the robot wants it to be precise and predictable every time, when something falls outside of the norm, you can flag those things, and it helps you spot anomalies or errors. So lots of opportunity for you to upskill with RPA in 2022. So really the foundation of what we're talking about today is our certified connector. So Blackbaud has a certified connector to the Microsoft Power Platform. It's been available since about 2019. It came out really in general release in 2020, and a lot of customers have started onboarding and using this connector to do repetitive tasks. So things like gift notifications, reports, and we're going to dive into some of those examples. But essentially this creates, using our APIs, an interface, a low-code or no-code interface for building applications and building workflows alongside a host of 350 other solutions that you can connect and extend to. So the foundation of this is Sky API. So this is for Razor's Edge NXT customers. Okay, so where can this certified connector be used? And let me be clear, this is Razor's Edge NXT and Church Management. Because they use a common API, our Sky API, they both have connectors that can be used for Microsoft Power Platform. So this specific certified connector can be used within Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power Virtual Agents. These are 3 different tool sets that have different licensing around them on the Microsoft Power Platform. So what do each of these do? Power Automate allows you to build RPA. It's workflow automation. It's business process automation across connected solutions like NXT. So you have Workflow Designer in NXT, and you can create these automated workflows within it, but you're locked within what you can do within NXT. With Power Automate, you can extend and automate into all host of other applications, not just NXT. It also can be used for Power Apps. So Power Apps is a low-code, no-code drag and drop UI for creating applications. And so when we dive into the automation kits today, you'll see some of these in action as well. And then third, in an area that we're looking to really explore more in 2022 are chatbots. So virtual agents, so natural language chat agent that can connect to NXT or church management and do things like donor service interactions and really drive a more personalized and experience on your website, or even be used for training within the NXT application itself. So many possibilities with what this connector can do. So let's just dive into a few more examples to really paint the picture of what the Power Platform is. So Power Automate is where most people get started with the Power Platform. It helps you to build those time-saving workflows from everything from individual tasks to large-scale systems with seamless integration across hundreds of pre-built connectors. So in this example, this is taking supporter services to the next level by automating the unsubscribe process. So many of you may send out direct mail, and you have an email alias, an Outlook email alias that's receiving requests to remove from certain mailing lists or remove from certain types of emails. You can teach the robot to scan that email and look for unsubscribes. And when they see an unsubscribe, automatically update the consent and notes and actions, giving you an audit trail with a copy of that email. So that's an example of a time-saving workflow that you can build on Power Automate. Power Apps. So in this example, this is really enabling major gift officers within Razor's Edge NXT to generate a Microsoft Word proposal that pulls data directly from the opportunity record. So essentially, there's a custom tile that's behind the scenes, a Power App that you can build that when you click on Create Proposal, goes out and looks at what is the funding priorities for this? How much of it has been funded? How much are we looking to ask? And puts together a framework for a template for solicitation to a prospective major gift donor. So that's just one example of a Power App in action. There's multiple others. Power Virtual Agent. So spoke a little bit about this one already, and this is an area that I'm really eager to be exploring in 2022, is to create those conversational experiences on your website or even within NXT for training. In this example, a donor is asking for a duplicate tax receipt that when they verify their information can go into NXT, retrieve that receipt and send it via email, or add a task for someone to send it via mail if that's how the donor prefers to receive it based on their communication preferences in this chatbot. And we're going to dive into this a little bit today too, because it's in one of our acknowledgement kits, is that if you've not explored what Sky Addins are, Sky Addins allow you to really extend and customize Razor's Edge NXT without knowing any code. So you'll see one of our kits that we go in today is about that single word merge from a gift record with a Power Automate button within NXT, or a Power App that flies out that lets you interact with even data outside of NXT, like in Salesforce, but doing that within the NXT interface, or dropping in a Power BI tile, a business intelligence or reporting tile that you want to see within the NXT experience. So there's just open up a world of possibility with the Power Platform and some of the Sky developer tools. And I say that because I did not consider myself a developer. I was a fundraiser, I was a marketer, I managed donor service teams. I was the person responsible for creating my sustainer welcome packages and my lapsing credit card letters and all of the acknowledgments. And so I understand that many of you are saying, with the changes, what's the right solution for me? So I want to be clear that working with the Power Platform is a bit of a DIY project. It is you embracing a new skill. It is you exploring the world of automation, potentially beyond just your acknowledgement processes. And that may not be the perfect fit solution for you or the perfect fit solution for you right now. So, you know, there are definitely critical success factors if you are going to start to work with RPA, robotic process automation, on the Power Platform. It really does take support from your management and your leadership. They want you to spend your time focused on this, because although you can be saving many hours or many days or potentially even weeks of time over the course of a year, you're going to be investing that into learning these new skills and applying these new business practices. You are going to need access to a Power Automate premium license to use our connector. For most 501c3s, you have a license already that allows you to use Power Automate, and likely just need to speak with your IT department to see if it can be provisioned for you. Not everyone in your organization needs access to the premium license, just the person that's building and managing those flows for Power Automate. So if you don't have a license, or first step, talk to your IT department to see if one can be made available to you. If not, there's lots of opportunities with Microsoft to get free licenses. There's lots of links about that within the documentation and the resources on our connector. So make sure that you check out all of those resources links that are here within On24. It is going to take training and practice. It's scary at first because you really are learning a new skill. I never considered myself super technical in writing code, but I have built one of the kits that you're going to see and use, hopefully, after today, myself, not knowing any code at all. But I do get joy from the determination and from the creative problem solving and working with the team to come up with creative solutions when I'm getting stuck. The rest of that Modern Merge innovation team are my colleagues that are also self-professed data geeks and longtime Razor's Edge users, but not coders. So we have all been learning from each other and with each other in building these kits, and hope to learn from all of you in 2022. So the rest of the webinar today is really meant to be an orientation. There are lots of support and training resources and upcoming opportunities to dive into the super technical weeds around how you would install these acknowledgement kits and onboard to the Microsoft Power Platform. So again, if you don't get all of your questions answered today in the chat, my colleague, my other RPA nerd, Zalia, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and share with everybody how we can stay connected as we explore Power Automate over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Heather. Hello, everyone. I'm Zalia Kuchwayo, located in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have been with Blackbaud for 10 years, but a user of our solutions for a total of 19 years. To start us off with the support and training resources, I just want to share with everyone in chat, we've already posted a link pertaining to pricing. So we saw that question several times from our attendees today. That resource serves as that guide. So as Heather has already mentioned, speak with your IT rep to find out if you already have a Microsoft Power Platform license. And then from there, explore those pricing options, as well as grant opportunities that Microsoft offers. There are additional resources that will help you to onboard to our solution extensibility with Razor's Edge NXT and church management. Since our launch of Power Platform, Heather has helped to facilitate multiple accelerator courses. And that included helping to launch our developer conference this past June. So on YouTube, you'll see recordings from our developers conference, our one-day drop-in, as well as those accelerator courses that other customers have participated in. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you are aware of any new recordings that are posted, which will include some of the skills labs that we plan to facilitate at the start of the year. We also encourage you to participate or take the Accelerator 101 course. This walks you through the process of getting started with Power Platform. You are able to leverage, again, those recordings and understand how other organizations have adopted Microsoft Power Platform for their organization. This information is on demand at your fingertips, available to consume at a time that's right for you and your team. I'll also encourage you to take advantage of Blackbaud Community. You already have access with your Blackbaud ID. What we'll encourage you to do is follow the specific community page for Sky Power Platform. This is a great resource where you are able to post your questions, glean responses from users as well as Blackbaud resources, and partner with other users who are sharing their lessons learned and best practices. Our goal here is to make sure that you understand that you are not alone in this experience and that you are able to learn from others and leverage that information for your organization's benefit. Our skills labs are available. Again, when you visit that Get Started page, you're walked through multiple steps. And within that, we'll also offer some one-on-one, or rather group, I think when we're going with our kit, we'll be offering some office hours to discuss with users. But there will be skills labs specific to the Modern Merge Acknowledgement Kits. Make sure that you visit the site using the link that we will provide to register. This will be your opportunity to dive into those kits that were established, ask questions based on the resources that have been given to you, and then follow along as we demonstrate how to build this information. So it allows you to have that one-on-one engagement while you're building and learning. And of course, the resources that we previously mentioned will be available for you to post your questions, identify any areas where you have stumbling blocks, and allow our team to engage with you there. And then those office hours. We encourage you to sign up for office hours. Share with us the areas where you are running into stumbling blocks. If it is a question pertaining to licensing, we will be sure to reference you back to the information with Microsoft Power Platform. Our goal with the office hours is to help you accomplish your desired outcome, but we also want to make sure that you are using the resources that help you to get started first.
Thank you, Zaya.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
Okay. So lots of good questions coming in. We're trying to react quickly to make sure that we're answering all of them. So thank you for your patience. So yes, we are absolutely diving in now to the acknowledgement kits that are an option that you may explore that could be the right fit for your organization, and looking at an alternative to the mail merge function within Razor's Edge NXT database view. So for those of you who have not spent a lot of time on the Sky developer site, hope this is your opportunity. So where you can find our kits are on Sky Developer. This link is in the resources, and this team has compiled a number of different guided tutorials to walk you through the installation of these kits and to hopefully accelerate your onboarding and flatten the learning curve of using Microsoft Power Automate. So there's several different kits that are available. And we've notated on them at what level they are, and hopefully you can tackle these sort of in order, and it's going to serve a couple of different functions, hopefully help you with training, help you with onboarding, but also give you an actual operational workflow that could work for maybe some or all of the different types of letters that you send. So the different kits are as follows. There's one for creating an acknowledgement letter. This is the great place to start. We're going to go through each of these in detail in a few moments. There is another kit for a single word merge from an add-in button on a gift record. So when you need to produce a single acknowledgement letter for a gift, we walk you through how to set up your templates to be usable within Power Automate. So we've created a few templated letters that already have all of the fields merged in for you. But we also want to give you the tools to be able to build the different types of letters and customize those letters for your organization. So we have a tutorial on how to do that. We have a tutorial and kit on a conditional merge that is based on today's gifts that are added to the Razor's Edge NXT database. And then a merge that's based on an export. So not all fields related to a gift may be available via API today. There may be certain types of letters, certain types of details that you want to merge into a letter that are only available through a database view export. So there is an automated way to retrieve that export file and produce a mail merge. So those are the kits that are available today. We have more kits coming, and we'll touch on that at the end as well. So within each of the acknowledgement kits, what is available? We created a business process flow diagram like you see here on the slide to sort of walk you through what's happening inside of this workflow. We always start, and as you start to think about automating your business processes before we ever open up Microsoft Power Automate, it's really required to make sure that you have the ideal business process flow documented. We use Visio for this, but there's many other tools, even just good old Microsoft Word with some bullet points to show what's happening in the flow can help. But we have one of these for you for each of the kits to just walk through what's happening. We also have step-by-step instructions for how to install, customize, and configure the kit for your own environment. We recorded tutorial videos for each of those steps. We have template flows that you can import to Power Automate. So one of the great things about Power Automate is that you can actually share and swap code. So there's lots of opportunities for us to all make each other better and smarter and accelerate our path towards automation by sharing what we build. And we'll talk about that at the end of the presentation today as well. We also have example acknowledgement letters that are pre-configured with merge fields to be able to use those in Power Automate. The way that you insert fields within the Microsoft Word document itself is pretty much the same process, but a different methodology for teaching the robot where to pull data from our APIs and have it land within your letter from the way that you are merging your documents today. So now we're going to dive into the main parts of each of the kits and sort of talk about what's happening in each of those flows. So I want you to be thinking about the different types of letters you produce for your organization and sort of how each of these kits would map up to those different letter processes. So Becky, I'll let you introduce yourself and kick us off with the first kit.
Hi all, my name is Becky Kimball. I'm with the Solutions Architect team here at Blackbaud. I am based in Denver, and I've been with Blackbaud 10 years. I was with Blackbaud as a Razor's Edge consultant and trainer back when it was just RE7. And this was my first opportunity to work within the Microsoft Power Automate. A lot of the terms that Heather is speaking of were new to me within the past like 2 to 3 weeks where I've been learning more about this. So as a beginner, the 3 lessons that I'm going to talk through, and it seems like we've got a lot of people who are starting at the beginner level, is really to make sure that you're blocking off time to do this. This isn't the type of task where you can easily go back and forth between this and other areas. This is definitely something that you'll want to block time off for, and understanding it's end of year and we're heading into a new year and end of year receding, but it's definitely important to block off that time. Also, as Heather talked about, one of the prerequisites and things that you really want to focus on is making sure that you've worked with potentially your IT team and other staff, and making sure that you have the Power Platform set up before you actually start the process. There's some prerequisites listed out in creating the acknowledgement letters that you'll want to start typically before you have that time blocked off to spend on the acknowledgement letters. And then the last thing that I'll talk about is just making sure that as you're learning this is definitely an activity that you'll want to share with others. I think sometimes when we're in that working through something, we're just trying to learn it for ourselves and get things set up quickly. But also once you have things stabilized, to be able to share this with others at your organization to help their ramp up time potentially on learning these new items. With that, I'll go into the acknowledgement letter from WebView. This is a basic way to get started. I see a lot of questions coming into chat for recurring gifts and pledges and tributes and a lot of additional items. What this starts with is it'll allow you to gain the skills and making sure that you have the basics set up, and then from there to be able to potentially grow on additional ways that you'll create letters beyond this. So what you can do with this particular, and I'm not going to go through the steps here, as Heather mentioned, these are all documented. We have recordings for each of these, but this allows you to take a list in Raiser's Edge NXT and be able to alter that list to determine what records you'd like to include to acknowledge, and then to have that end output where you're able to have print-ready letters and envelopes so you can easily send those to your constituents. So during this process, and this is all available, we'll review this in Skills Lab, and we also have this recorded, it allows you, again, to take a simple list in Raiser's Edge, determine what constituents you'd like to send the letters to, and then to be able to have those ready to go. The exciting part is once you've gone through this is you'll actually receive an email in Outlook. So once you've got everything set up, it'll say, oh, no acknowledgement letters to process today, or here's your acknowledgement letters. And just as the beginner representative, again, it's been within the past few weeks where I've learned this, and it really felt like an accomplishment. Yes, it's end of year, and there were a lot of other things going on, but it's something I can see there's so much potential for growth in other areas where we can use this.
Thank you, Becky. All right. So this was my crowning achievement in putting together the kits. This was the first time that I had built an application from end to end. And so one of those prerequisites on the Getting Started page prompts you to use your Blackbaud ID to create a Sky developer account. That's going to give you access to actually create and connect applications to Raiser's Edge NXT. So in this use case, we've created a custom button on a gift record that when you click on it, will produce a one-off acknowledgement or a duplicate acknowledgement request. It will merge that acknowledgement letter and an envelope template and save that to a SharePoint location. It'll update the acknowledgement status, and it will link to that merged acknowledgement letter as an attachment on the gift record. So the skills that you're learning in this particular tutorial are really about how to create these custom buttons that invoke different types of workflows from within Raiser's Edge NXT. And so your mind might be a flurry of all of the different types of workflows that you might want to trigger within NXT. Things like event bio reports or major gift profile reports, other types of merges that might come from different objects within NXT, different types of records, from an opportunity record, for example, or a constituent record, if you want to do a constituent letter merge instead of a gift letter merge. So I'm giving you the tools here with this create a one-off acknowledgement letter template. Then, as we mentioned, the third template or kit is for a simple merge from a Raiser's Edge export. So this uses an export from database view as the data list for your simple merge. So in our particular kit, we created one for a pledge reminder, a pledge installment letter. Pledge installments high on the list and very highly voted in the Idea Bank, but not available via API today. So need to rely on that RE export file. So in this case, where you're using the export just like you might have done with your merging current state, but instead we're choosing Power Automate to be the application that actually creates the merge. So if you have the queue module, you can in fact automate the daily export or weekly export or monthly export for the letter as well, or you can manually produce that export. But here is where it's a lovely alternative because it really does keep that data very, very secure. So it's the robot or Power Automate is going to go into your hosted file location, your SFTP that's connected to your Razor's Edge NXT database, and take that data out of the SFTP and merge those reminder acknowledgements and envelopes for each of the rows in your export, and then send a notification to a user with a link to the print ready files, letting them know that their letters are ready to be stuffed in those envelopes and envelopes printed. It also has some options to turn on if you'd like to create a link to the pledge reminder on the original pledge record under attachments, and add an action to the donor's record indicating that that mailing has been sent. So all of those things are built into the kit and able to toggle on or off depending on the unique needs and business processes at your organization. So this is the type that you would use for things, again, like pledge installments or membership mailings or tribute acknowledgements. In our kit, we've done the pledge installment example. And then conditional merge. Obviously, you all are here and you know this is one of the most powerful workflows within Razor's Edge database view. So I'm wanting to emulate that functionality within Power Automate. So instead of all of the GIFs in the export or all of the GIFs in the web view lists getting the same treatment or the same letter, in this example, we're actually going out and looking at what is the acknowledgement letter that you entered for that gift when it came in through batch or another way, and saying, okay, we want to look at that acknowledgement letter. We want the robot to evaluate which document we want to merge based on that acknowledgement letter and produce the right letter for that particular gift. We have a couple, we've created branches within the flow. We've set it up for sort of a simple acknowledgement, a major gift acknowledgement letter, and then if there's no letter, what do we want to have happen with that particular gift and how it's acknowledged. But we also walk you through in the tutorial how to add other conditions into the flow. So this one is a bit more complex, and so that's why we've put these in an order that sort of starting from the simplest and working your way up to more complex types of workflows throughout the different tutorials in those kits. So the queue module, for those of you asking about queue, we will share more information in the skills labs and the office hours, most certainly. This is something that you can speak to your customer success manager or account executive about, and there are options to get that added if you don't have it and want it. All right, so we know that you still have questions, you still have concerns about, is this going to work for this particular type of letter? Is this going to work for my very specific business process and what I want to merge in? What's missing? So there's a few gotchas, and these are things that we're actively working on improving. So as we mentioned at the top of the hour, our certified connector, actually, it's a good thing, got too big. Microsoft told us our connector was too big. It had too many different things that you could do in it, and they wanted us to break it down into smaller ones. So, and until that was done, we weren't to add any new actions into the connector. So that connector has been submitted to Microsoft several weeks ago now, and we're awaiting with bated breath after the holidays for that to be recertified. When it does, we'll have several different connectors. We will still be supporting the connector that's there, and there's no changes to it, so it won't disrupt. There's no breaking change for any of the templates or kits. You're not going to have to rebuild them. In fact, you can use multiple of the same connectors within the flow. But name format summaries are something that are in the refactored connector, the new connector that's coming that is not there today. So you'll notice that in order to have the full addressee and salutation, we've used title, first name, last name. As soon as that gets recertified, we'll be updating that to look at name formats and pull in the primary and preferred addressee and salutations into the template kits and updating them for you. Also, we are relying on a third-party connector. So this is in the ecosystem of all of the 350 plus applications that you can use on Microsoft Power Automate. We've chosen one called Encodian, and it's in the documentation and linked and has a video on it as well. They have a free trial, and it's generous and sufficient for most organizations, but if you are running many processes on Power Automate, it may not be free at scale. So just to say, this is only required within the flow because we wanted to produce one file that you had to produce, that you had to print at the end of the workflow to make it really easy for you or someone else in your office to say print and print out all of the letters from the day, but still retaining the individual letter that we wanted attached to each of the gifts. So to merge and concatenate all those files, we're using a free trial of Encodian. And we're meeting with Encodian next week to discuss other options that might be available for nonprofits, because they have a lot of great tools that can further simplify things related to documents and merging and PDFs within workflows. We're also going to be adding more to the kits. So we know tribute acknowledgements is top of mind for many of you and how you'll achieve those types of letters. We'll rely on a similar workflow to the export, one that we've done with the pledge reminder letters to achieve a tribute acknowledgement kit. But we'll also be adding a step to go back into reverse and providing you an import file to update that tribute acknowledgement status. So we're working on that. Right now, our documentation for the export flow is really relevant for Azure hosted customers. It is achievable for all customers in our Blackbaud hosting environments on Razor's Edge NXT. But we first, we'll be updating that documentation so that you have an option to know exactly how to access your SFTP folder, whether you're in Azure or whether you're in a different cloud environment. Something we worked on over the holidays that we're going to be pushing live on the site. We know many of you, instead of wanting to use a number 10 envelope for printing, want to do labels. So we are releasing a merge template next week and a sample flow within community in case you want to do labels instead of envelopes that we have in the kits today. And we are eager to build out more custom and advanced types of workflows based on your needs with you. So tell us. So please use the channels that Zalia shared with you around community and around office hours to communicate with us and give us feedback on the kits and how you're using them and where you're running into trouble. Let's see. I've got a poll question. If you would like to know more about what's going on with our social good developer updates and training like the skills labs and events like today's webinar, if you can please opt in so that we can get this information to you. You may still be evaluating whether this is the right option for you. And of course, there's other ways to sign up later. But please let us know if you'd like to start receiving email on relevant topics around Sky Developer and the Microsoft Power Platform. So I'll give you just another moment to answer this, and then we want to let you know what's coming next and where you can continue to get access to training resources and help regarding Power Automate. Okay. So as Alia mentioned, we're having our first skills lab. So the skills lab is really where we're going to not really be tackling these kits at a really high level. This is interactive. We host them on Microsoft Teams. It's just a regular Microsoft Teams meeting so that you can interact with the experts. We'll be breaking out into sort of the different kits for different rooms. And going into that breakout room and walking through the tutorials and the step-by-steps of how you import and start using that kit. So that's a good opportunity to come if you want a little bit of hand-holding and first working with Power Automate. But to prepare for that skills lab, you want to make sure that you go to the Sky Developer site, post it in the resources links, and sign up. It's free. So you'll have that Sky Developer account before you join the skills labs. If the best approach in joining the skills labs is to really have those dual monitors up and being able to follow along. A lot of this is sort of learning that muscle memory, learning that new language. So watching the instructor and then following along on your own computer. So if you've completed the initial setup steps listed under getting started for connecting to Power Automate, then you really can just work alongside the instructor and be able to say, oh, could you slow down? Could you show that again? And mirroring them through the session. Again, we meet on Microsoft Teams, and you can get access to the calendar through one of the resource links we shared. We know that Power Automate and onboarding to Power Automate is not for everybody, and it does take a dedication of time and sort of a new way to do things for your organization, and it might not be the right time now. So we are hosting webinars throughout the month of January to help you explore options that might be the best fit for your organization. Beyond what's already been shared here today and in the documentation around using export locally on your computers. So on January 11th, we'll actually be showcasing one of our Blackbaud marketplace applications. So if using an application that can do all this for you without any low code or no code, you just want something turnkey, Donor Tech Receiver Pro might be a good fit for you, available in the Blackbaud marketplace today. If this is scary, but you want to move to Power Automate, but you feel like you're going to need support to be able to do that, one of our partners, Prenger Solutions Group, Austin, I see you in the audience. Thanks for being here. On January 13th, is going to walk through sort of how you onboard and the different types of automation support services that they can provide to help your organization start to harness these tools and provide managed services relative to Microsoft Power Automate. On January 25th, another of our partners, RedArc, will be hosting a webinar. They have a new arrival to the Blackbaud marketplace to support mail merge and acknowledgements. So come on January 25th if you are already working with another one of their applications. They're prolific in the Blackbaud marketplace of building those Sky add-in tiles So they will be sharing what their solution can do for you on January 25th. So another, and I mentioned this already, one of the great things about Power Automate is the ability to really build a community around it. And so for a better part of a year, some of your colleagues have embraced robotic process automation and have been sharing their code in community. We often have contests for submitting new flows and applications, and we're learning from each other and helping each other with automating our business processes and building different types of apps. So I included the link to the template showcase in the resources. There is, in fact, thank you, Mr. Alex Wong, a submission for a very complex flow around e-invoicing and another approach to pledge reminders that he's shared here in the template showcase that you can pick up and install and configure for your environment as well. So if you do decide 2022 is the year and you start building workflows, please share them. It really is how we learn and grow this library of community code. So let's see. I think that's all we wanted to cover for today. Just want to thank you for your time. We know it's a really, really, really busy time of year. We know you've got some big decisions to make. This is one option, not the only option that's available to you to explore. We'd love to see you at the first Skills Lab on January 12th, where we'll start digging into how to install these different kits and apply them to your environments. In the meantime, please do take this opportunity to explore the documentation and the resources that we shared. And we look forward to seeing you on the 12th. We realize there's still a lot of questions in the Q&A. We're going to do our best to continue to respond to them. Those that we've not responded to, we will respond in writing and post with the recording just as quickly as we can. And if there's lots of repeat questions or concerns, we'll take those to heart and make sure that we incorporate them in the next time that we meet together on the 12th. So thank you so much. Happy holidays, happy new year, and see you in 2022.